All right, everybody. This is Strong Principles. This is Larry Medina.
I'm Rob Delacruz.
I'm Zach Bragg.
And I'm Pete Miller.
All right. And today I fell into an article from the New York Times over the holidays. Obviously, this is January timeframe. And so the evolution of everybody getting back to the gym is in full force, right? The New Year's resolutions and all that good stuff. So in this article, they talked about 50 essential pieces of health advice from doctors, researchers, and wellness experts. And we just want to get into what a synopsis of what the article is, and we can discuss that into further detail.
A peer review.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just start off with the first one on this list, and there's a decent amount. I don't know if we'll get into all these, but we'll start off with the physical health and movement, and it lists
Exercise snacks.
the exercise snack.
Yeah.
So it's basically talking about like you don't always need an hour at the gym. Short bursts of activity, like a brisk 10-minute walk or a few flights of stairs, can significantly improve cardiovascular health. You want to get into that?
Yeah, I'll start on the first one. So a lot of with the exercise snacks, I mean, in my mind, I look at it as like park far away from the supermarket, bring in some carts, use the stairs instead of an elevator, kind of like go for a walk for a little while after you eat, 10 minutes. Like those, to me, are exercise snacks.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We would, and I would agree that this is beneficial too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because one of the main prescriptions that one of the doctors we work closely with, they always say after dinner, just go for a quick 10-minute walk or a quick 5-minute walk, like right after you eat. Yeah, it can be very potent. It can have a good effect on the body. Exercise snack is kind of a funny term for it. I like that.
I do too.
But it can be very potent. I 100% agree. Just short bursts of activity.
Because like being sedentary, there's an amount of steps you kind of like want to get pretty close to. And you get most of your benefits of getting close to around 8,000.
So I like the idea of the energy snack or exercise snack because having a job now that I sit, I did read an article that said that if you do like 10 air squats every couple of hours, it regulates your blood sugar.
Yeah.
It's a very effective like tool to regulate your blood sugar. And that's just the snack. It's just a quick set of air squats that significantly impact your condition or your physical abilities.
We should make that a trend. Just like have people like randomly walk and then you'll just stop and just do air squats.
Like the Apple Watch. If anybody wears the Apple Watch, that'll all of a sudden, like if you have there's a setting on it where all of a sudden it'll tell you, all right, get up and move, and it'll tell you to like move for like 5 minutes. Yeah, you've been sitting too long, basically, and so every now and again it'll just tell you to get up and move. Which is a good tool.
I think it's Japan. There's certain things that you can like get on a train and you have to do air squats. You have to do some sort of exercise, and that's.
Like people don't realize like the way the blood flows around is it's not just like the heart's moving it, like the muscles are pumps too.
Mm-hmm.
So that once they pump,
blood.
there's all kinds of things that go on with that. That's super beneficial.
Awesome. All right.
So agreed.
Go ahead.
I was just saying. So we agree.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
I think it's good. So next one is focus on balance, right? So as we age, balance becomes a use it or lose it skill. So experts suggest standing on one leg while brushing your teeth to build stability and prevent falls later in life.
All right.
So that's what this thing says.
No, and that's fine. A lot of times with balance is it's got to do with strength. And yeah, there's unilateral strength, and the stronger your like individual leg strength, the better your balance starts to become. Because if you just go and you just work on balance, you get a little bit out of it. But if you're not strong enough, that balance just does not coordinate.
Yeah. And tendon and ligament strength as well, not just the muscles. I see this often because I work with a lot of golfers and tennis players, and both of them, balance is a big part of that sport. And most of the people I end up working with are a little bit older. And so what we see oftentimes is balance is the first to go. 100% agreed. But to Rob's point, if you don't have enough strength, enough tendon and ligament elasticity, and mobility does play a factor as well, you're going to have a much harder time balancing. So yes, and I will tell people something like this. I'll say, just take some time, if especially if somebody who's just getting started and they're not very active, just take some time each day when you wake up in the morning and just practice balancing on one foot, balancing on the other foot. So yes, it is beneficial, but in order to really improve balance, yes, you need strength training in order to be able to create that isometric to be able to hold.
And on top of that, the bone density, right?
I was just going to say
that's another part too. Yeah,
you'd be surprised when you take one of your feet off the ground, all of a sudden how stuff kind of starts changing. Then never mind closing your eyes.
And that plays very well into the podcast we just did about the bone density.
Yeah.
You have individuals that are coming with low bone density. You're adding strength training. Maybe if we add a little bit of balance to there, because obviously the fall that's going to break their hip, that's going to be very detrimental to their life and their livelihood. You can kind of sway that a bit with brushing your teeth.
I always
and
see
standing
them
on foot.
get better. Like usually the balance is individual leg, obviously. And the stronger I get their individual legs, like in lunge patterns, the better the balance starts becoming. And then I start using more balance work. But in the beginning, it's like there's too much weakness. I
In
just
the
got to
beginning, you
create
just got to
strength.
get them stronger, 100%. You wouldn't just throw them right on a BOSU. You get them stronger first, and then you start to work up to that type of stuff. And this kind of leads into the exercise snack one, and the strength training is essential. But any single leg balance stuff, like in everyday life. So along with, if we're looking at this, just sitting on one leg, brush your teeth, but take the stairs. That's one leg at a time, you know? But yeah, you want to go into the third one. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's good, right? Because I was going to say the exact same thing, that we're getting into the third part of this first piece of like strength training is essential, right? So, and that leads into the what you mentioned there, Rob, with focus on balance. It's really, you know, strength training, but also like the balancing, like you're saying, taking the stairs, I think is a really good idea. I honestly never even thought about that. Like that you would need balance to go up the stairs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Otherwise people are hanging on.
Because I just take it for granted that I can just walk up the stairs with carrying stuff. So,
Yeah,
okay. So the next one that we have here is nutrition and gut health. And it breaks it down into 3 different categories. The 30 plants rule. And so aim to eat 30 different types of plants per week, including nuts, seeds, herbs, and grains to diversify your gut microbiome. Prioritize fiber and hydration timing. So drinking water throughout the day is better for absorption than chugging large amounts at once.
Well, first thing I'm going to do is like, we don't have protein on here. So I'm going to criticize that whole thing without good amount of like really whole food, like good quality protein. That's number one. So we're missing that. I'm almost like disregarding. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but that's a great point, though.
No,
sorry,
right there.
They should have had that in there.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand where we're missing there, because all the plants in the world, it's going to be real hard to build that bone density and muscle.
Yeah, because there are some plants that have some protein, but it's not going to be enough.
Say it again?
There's some plants that do have protein, but it's not going to be nearly enough.
The thing with it's amino acid profile. So like plant-based proteins, and then people that are vegan, you have to eat more grams of protein. The problem when you run into, especially if you supplement, it's kind of notorious with metals in it. It's just from this natural metals in the ground. And 2 is it's like super gut irritant.
Well, the other thing too is that, and this could be fake news, so please research this, right? or correct me, right? But I want to say that I've read somewhere that if you're drinking, you know, plant protein, the protein that is actually in the plant is in the plant, and not necessarily when you're eating it. Like
when it's not absorbed.
Right.
Well, that's why. So the amino acid profile is off. So there's like some plants like peas, they use like certain things have a little more protein and we're able to absorb it more. But the way that amino acid profile is set up, you have to take more in when you just like, let's say for instance, like a steak, you would have to drink like 3 shakes to be, so it's kind of on that.
Right. Yeah.
Complete protein.
We're eating an ass load of like peas and.
But that is funny because it goes literally from strength training is essential to nutrition and gut health, and then says nothing about protein, and it's all just about plants. But to its point, the gut health thing is really important.
No doubt about it.
And the one, prioritize fiber. Most people focus on protein. There you go. But fiber is the unsung hero for heart health, digestion, and blood sugar regulation.
Correct.
I do agree. Yeah. That's a good point. And they did mention protein, but most people focus on protein because most people should be focusing on protein. So that is a good point. But yes, you do need enough fiber. And I do notice that when gut health is off, it affects the entire body. It can affect your sleep. It can affect your workouts. It can affect everything. So having proper gut health is extremely important. I think there's more than just eating enough plants and having enough fiber. It's just making sure all your foods are whole foods in general. Everything should fall underneath this whole foods pyramid. So, if you eat enough plants, but then you go and eat a high acidic and drinking alcohol and doing all this stuff, your gut microbiome is still not going to be great. So it's just, if it has to fall underneath a complete whole foods pyramid. And
I like the fiber, and it regulates blood sugar. So does protein, and fiber is very important. But like a lot of times, like these articles, and they didn't say it, but they're looking at like not great protein sources. You have really good protein sources like grass-fed, free-range chicken, and like those things. That's a lot different. So sometimes when they're quoting these things and they're thinking about like, oh, what's this? They're not talking about McDonald's hamburgers or hot dogs, but sometimes that's what they are
sure
talking
about.
Yeah.
Sure about that, Rob? All right. So the next one we have here is mental health and sleep. So the 5-minute rule for anxiety. So if you're spiraling, give yourself 5 minutes to feel the worry, then physically move to a different room or task to reset the brain. That's one of their rules. And, it's kind of funny because like, I actually think about this all the time as an adult. And I heard somebody say this and I kind of like took it to heart, where it's like, when you're 5, you have a full day to have a bad day. Like you can have a temper tantrum and like, you're allowed to have that. When you're in your teens, you're allowed to have like maybe half a day, but when you're 20 and up, you have 5 minutes. Like after this 5 minutes,
you got to move on.
You got to move on because otherwise it's going to ruin your day.
You got to let things roll off.
Yeah. Yep. So that's one. The social connection as medicine. Loneliness is as detriment to health as smoking. And me and Pete were talking about this earlier, right? About the generational differences.
I like being by myself a little bit, but
but eventually you need.
But we're also here. I get a lot of social. I mean, we're seeing hundreds of people in a day. So if I didn't have that as a job, then I'd probably seek it out a little more. But when we have that, that's a lot of social interaction. And I know Zach has his. They go with the religion and the church and everything. So there's a lot of social there, and that's really important. It's really like when my mom sits home a lot and she goes to church. Ever since she's gone there, it's made a big difference because if not, she's only like socializing with a couple of members from the family.
Yeah, and I have a lot of clients who, and a lot of members who I know, they join a gym because of the community. And so they're by themselves a lot, or they work a desk job and they're looking at a computer all day and they don't talk to anybody all day. And so I do agree. I think social connection is extremely important. Like Rob said, we're kind of in a little bit of a different spot here because we're always being social.
And so I become antisocial. I go to movies by myself. People spot me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to nobody. People ask us to do stuff.
But I do the same thing at work. Like I'm always talking to somebody because that's my job.
But having deeper connections does improve your mood, which is a good point. It's just as important mood as is deep friendships. Yeah, so I agree with that.
Yeah, and the last one here is protect the sleep window. So consistency is more important than total hours.
Yeah.
Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate your internal clock.
Yeah, sleep's a huge. I mean, that's one of the pillars.
One of the pillars
that
we just talked about.
Percentage of everything. The better your sleep, the more effective actually everything is. That your productivity, your workouts, your interaction with people. There's no way around it.
Yep. And I like the idea of the protecting the sleep window because, like it says here, you can get 8 hours of sleep, but if it's only 3 hours of quality, you didn't get any restorative sleep.
Correct.
It was almost a waste. Yeah. So protecting that sleep window by putting your stuff down, getting off of screens, not consuming caffeine at a certain time, preparing yourself to actually sleep well is very, very important.
I think the stimulants is a big one that people don't realize. They're consuming the stimulants later on, and that really is going to affect it. But like caffeine's got especially like the synthetic the half-life is like 24 hours. So you got to be careful with those.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's interesting that they put this with mental health. It's physical just as much as it is mental, protecting the sleep window, like we always talk about. So yes, 100%. But I mean, your whole body's not going to function or operate well if you're not getting not only proper sleep or enough time, but also making sure that window is proper.
I mean, when they torture people, they take their sleep away. That's like the first thing. So that's like when you want people to get them and you torture them and you want information from them, sleep is gone. Man.
Yeah, there was a study. I think one guy stayed awake for 30 days in a row, and you watched his whole body deteriorate.
Yeah,
like physically and mentally, he just crumbled.
There's a lot that happens when we sleep. Lymphatic drainage, like all kind, like our brain gets flushed and moves. So you're taking like all these chemicals that it's been using up to get rid of it. Your body rejuvenates like at night.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So next one is longevity and preventative care. So one of them is hearing health.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah,
with that?
no, the hearing health has a lot. Firearms.
Yes.
Police officers.
Very big.
Tactical. Then people in construction, they need to protect their hearing because once you get a certain age, you don't realize you start losing it, and and it takes away a little bit of your equilibrium.
Yep.
You just your communication starts changing, even the way you can talk if you're losing some of your hearing. So yeah, you should protect it.
Musicians too.
DJs.
And
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Huey Lewis, I
heavy
think, just recently.
equipment, like all.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the next one is, and this one we kind of were reading through this and we're like, what? So dental heart connection. So flossing isn't just for your teeth. Reducing gum inflammation is linked to lowering risks of heart disease.
Yeah. So dental health, dental hygiene has a lot to do with like food hygiene too. And so really good quality of foods kind of break down in your mouth a lot different than like highly processed foods that cause a lot of issues. So that alone is going to change your dental health, which is going to change the issue we're going on with the heart. But when you have processed foods, it changes the whole chemical makeup in the mouth. And then it deteriorates things, sugars and all that. I don't even have to like get into that.
I also wonder though, like if there's some correlation in like, so if you're a person that has good dental hygiene, are you gonna be a person that just takes care of yourself overall, right? So
Very
like,
good point.
you know, so I wonder if there's like some correlation there as well on top of like
You'd be,
what you're saying.
You would think so. You'd be more meticulous on like how you clean and not like a slob, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, like dude barely brushes his teeth. He never flosses.
Right.
He dresses bad. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Right. Like
his house has got
Like-
shit all over the place.
I don't know how
There's
many
dishes in the
people
fucking
would
sink.
show up to a gym that don't have teeth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you could, right, if you had some accident or whatever, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. It can lead over into everything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So sunscreen everywhere. So basically just skin health, right? Just making sure that.
What do you think about the sunscreen? So this is my thing with sunscreen. If you're in the sun a lot, protect it. But you do want some exposure, especially like a little bit in the morning, maybe like at night where it's there. But if you're in the sun all the time, by all means use it. But you want some skin exposure to get the
Vitamin
sun.
D,
Yep.
right?
You do need sun exposure. Being with the golf background, I'm in the sun a lot, and we live in Florida, so we're all in the sun a lot. Making sure it's a really high quality sunscreen, and
that's what I was
most of the really high quality sunscreens suck to put on
Because you're
because
white
they're
and they don't.
white and but those are the high quality ones. Most people are using the sprays that you just spray all over the place. You got all those chemicals going in your face, and on those are most of the time not good. What I recommend most of the time. And I do agree with this to an extent, using the right type of sunscreen though, but then also just like long sleeve SPF shirts. So you're still getting some sun exposure, even though, you know, it's got SPF on it. Longer pants, especially again, if you're a person who works like lawn maintenance or construction, or you're outside a lot, just protecting your skin, but you do need some sun exposure.
All right. So last one is the mindset shifts. So self-compassion over protection. So many experts noted that all or nothing thinking is the biggest enemy of health. Oh man, I think that's huge.
Well, we've seen it. I mean, we see it all the time. I think we had a podcast on the all or nothing. The whole thing is like, so many people come in there, and we can already tell just by the conversation with, I want to start now. Like they come in, they bought all this equipment. I'm going 6 days a week. Are you doing anything? Like right now? Like, no. So you want to go from nothing to six, like it's all or nothing. And then what happens is, then it becomes nothing eventually.
Correct.
Not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Yeah. And this point in here, if you miss a workout or eat a bad meal, the best move is to simply resume your routine immediately. Whereas most people have a bad meal during the day and they go, all right, well, this is just going to become my whole day's ruined. And they just start eating bad the whole day.
Yep.
Or they miss a workout and so they skip the entire week. But like Rob said, it eventually becomes nothing. And it's the all or nothing attitude never works. You got to find a sustainable approach. Do what you can. You're going to miss some stuff. You're going to have bad days, but
yeah, just get comfortable, right? Get comfortable
Yeah,
with.
like there's ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're going to be able to do things more and focus on it, and sometimes you're going to have to like step away from it a little bit. That's just how life is.
I got a buddy, and I always joke around with him. We get a, but he always goes, diet starts Monday, and it says that on here. But so it'll be like he starts it on Monday, and then Wednesday comes around, and he goes like, all right, boys, messed up. Diet starts Monday, and it's like, no, dude, get back on it tomorrow. Like, get back going on it right away. It's okay.
It's like the reels I've seen out there of like dry January. It's like day 1, no drinking. Day 2, no drinking. And the next was day 1 of no drinking.
Yeah.
Right.
We get all the time, like, if they can't make Monday, they just don't come the whole week.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't.
I don't even understand.
No, just get back on the wagon, guys.
Yes.
Like it's okay, right?
Yeah.
So all right, so the last one is the power of awe, right? Just seeking out moments of awe, looking at a sunset, listening to a powerful piece of music, lowers inflammation markers in the body.
I'm big on that. Like going traveling, looking at the mountains, even looking at the sunset here. Sometimes the sky is beautiful. A great song,
and really just enjoying the day, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
or
that's
like
the whole point of
later,
it.
the moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
be in the moment.
Yes.
And we're so high cortisol all day long.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. It's just our devices create us to be that way, or maybe it's your job, or maybe it's whatever it is, and your cortisol levels are super high all day. Stress levels are really high all day. It's good just to lower those cortisol levels and just take a breather, let your body kind of calm down. I agree.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I think we went through the whole list.
We got, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it. Gentlemen, anything else we want to add?
I agree with most of them. I think they needed to add protein.
Yeah,
into
the protein
nutrition,
one,
but-
I was a little like, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Who wrote this article? And see him, it's like, I don't want to make fun of
Probably
him,
some
but he's some
vegan.
skinny vegan.
Yeah, but I agree.
No
The-
opinions.
Yeah.
Overall, if you can follow most of those metrics and then adding in the protein, you're going to be leading a pretty healthy lifestyle.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. This is Strong
Awesome.
Principles.
Thanks, guys.